What is up, guys? How y'all doing? Patriot Pride, Gym Survival. I still gotta make you guys mods. Did you leave a comment on one of my videos, Jessica? How's it going, by the way? Jim did, I know that. Ryan the Gamer, what's up? Risa Joe, got your emails. Lisa Thompson. How you guys doing? We went on a long walk today, no videos or anything. We were just chilling. I don't have memberships yet. I haven't even had time to look into that. Turtle Gang #1. Yeah. Honey.
What?
What's up?
What?
How you doing?
Good. Going to bed soon. No, I'm not. No. I'm not. Ow!
Oh,
Ow!
what happened?
Hang on. Ow! Ow! Ow!
Did it pinch you?
Yes. Oh.
Honey, I'm sorry. She got her finger pinched between the arm of my chair and the desk. Hold on. You alright?
Yeah. But I just crushed my neck. It just.
Yeah. Okay. So, couldn't believe how many views the last night's video got. I think it was let me see. Let's see. $6,700 views from last night's video. It's crazy. Did I hear what JLR put together on what?
I think I'm gonna have a bruise there.
I haven't been able to catch. Hey.
I'm just gonna say good night. Guess I'm going to bed soon.
All right.
But. Ow.
All right.
It wasn't your fault, but it still hurt.
She smashed her finger in the chair. Yeah, Miss Mabs. I just broke her finger on purpose. And I'm going to give her a black eye later. So, yeah. So, I checked out that car. Let me share the screen for you. So this guy here, this is the car, right, that I took that picture from. I believe this is Porch Guy. And you can see he's got something broken on the top of his car. It's like a roof rack or something. It's weird, like it's all kind of just wanky wonky on top of his car, right? So I'm sure there's only one car that has that thing on the top of it. And I also found out it's a Nissan Rogue. It's a Nissan Rogue between the years of 2021 and 2024. ChatGPT is confident it's a Nissan Rogue, roughly 2021 to 2024 blue one. And here's a picture of the back of it. Yeah. So it's kind of from the side, but I don't see any roof rack on it like this guy has on his. So he has some kind of janky white thing on his Nissan Rogue. As you can see it right here, it's just weird. All right, that's one thing. And then I was looking at some other videos and stuff. Let's see, let me see what you guys are saying. Hi, Donna. How you doing, darling? Jessica, Samantha, Jim. What's up, Jim? Lisa Thompson. Jessica Worth, Lisa Joe. It's good to see all you guys. Kelly Holcomb, Texas woman, Christy Chicken Tender. Yeah. Thank you guys for all showing up. Tori, Pit Road Mama. Yeah. I got a message last night on the Google Voice phone, but I couldn't figure out what it said actually. Let me see if I can. All right, let me see. It's my own video. That's stupid. All right, never mind. I'll do the mod thing later. I'm kind of just tripping here. Yeah. Anyway, let's stop sharing that. And then we will share. Let's see. Monk's got this weird video. We'll share that real quick. Oh, forgot to tell you. Dad's gone live. I sent him an email so I could try to get the license plate number of this blue car because I know he has it. So I left him a super chat about an hour ago. He read it and he said he'd get back to me tonight or tomorrow morning. So I've already got feelers out for the license plate for the Nissan Rogue, the blue one, and the Perp. So, yeah. Wouldn't that be cool if we... you will be. You will be. I could probably run in there and make you a mod real quick. You guys would have to just listen to this video for a second, and I'll go make a couple of you guys mods. All right, I'm an idiot. I admit it. Oh, Lord, help me.
Nest
I'll be right
footage
back.
was actually staged by the Perp. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Hey monks, did you get some plastic surgery done? No, guys. I would never get plastic surgery. It's me. Look, see? You probably didn't see the tape there, right? But it's me. Once I put on the glasses, everything will be back to normal. It's me, guys. Now, if you guys are thinking that I'm being ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous, maybe so, but have you ever known me not to make a point from these things? So allow me to make it make sense. So there was this comment by a person named Spin Flux, okay, that they watched a video on CIA disguises, how these professionals, they could alter anything about themselves to be recognizable except for the gait. You know, the way that they walked is the hardest thing to work on. Now, this comment, of course, is from the video where we talked about, you know, the perp's gait. This comment highlights one of the many reasons I love reading the comment section because, hey, I didn't know this little fact, but it also opened my eyes to the fact that I have been ignoring the simple thought about this crotch holster guy persona, right? That it possibly is all staged and that maybe even what's underneath the ski mask even has been altered. Let's go ahead and add a few more pieces to our working theory. Now, I would love to give credit to the commenter that wrote that the ski mask by itself is going to alter anybody's face if they were to slip it on, okay? Now, this stuck in my head. And the importance of it, I only felt recently. So to you, whoever commented this, I say thank you. Now, a lot of people said that once they saw the side-by-side of Tommaso's gait with the perps, they can't unsee it, right? I will also say now that when I look at the images that we have of the crotch holster guy, I can't see his face not being at least altered a bit by that ski mask. However, I took it a step further, okay? I again burned my eyes over that Nest footage. Now, if any of you guys remember how you guys felt when you first saw the perpetrator's eyes, right? A lot of people in the comment section said that it felt feminine. That's the word that they used. And so did I, right? I said that they were pretty, but I also said that they were perky. That was the first word that came to my mind when I looked at those eyes. When I was doing those face overlay things, I go,
Hey, Jessica, leave a comment on last night's video and I can make you a mod. Wait a minute. Yeah, I can't do it from here. It's got to be in the comments. For some reason, I don't know why.
all these characters, they just...
Jim, you should be a mod now. Where you at, Jim? You're up here in the top. You should be a mod, Jim. You should be in blue. Yeah, you are. There you are. You're blue. You're a mod, Jim.
don't have as perky of eyes as the culprit does.
Leave a comment on last night's video and I will make you a mod. So do that right now and then I'll go look at it and make you a mod.
As if those eyes were being lifted. And now a lot of you are getting what that, tape bit at the top of the video was for. Now, I also noticed something else that supports this theory, okay? Go watch it again. Whenever the perpetrator was facing the camera, which I'm sure he's well aware of, that this camera is recording him, this guy never blinks. He's like a wide-eyed deer in the headlights every time he is facing the camera. Now, once you watch this video again, I just showed you something that you just can't unsee. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say that for the entire duration that he did not blink, okay? I'm just saying that whenever he was facing the camera, he did not do so, right? And if you're taping your eyes up, to alter your eyes, you probably want to keep your blinking at a minimum, right? Just in case, right? The tape comes loose or something like that. Now, do I think he used Scotch tape like I did? Of course not. And this is why I always turn to the internet, because it is just way smarter. When I was punching it in, I was thinking about CIA, FBI, law enforcement. But the first thing Google gave me was makeup artists. And of course, makeup artists. And it turns out that they have something meant exactly for this, okay, to alter the eyes. And it's something.
So now he's saying that this dude might have altered his eyes. That porch camera may have a fairly slow frame rate, slow enough that it might not catch a blink. That's true.
Something called an invisible, transparent eyelid tape strip, something or other used by professional makeup artists now. We learned something new, and I think, or other used by professional makeup artists now. We learned some makeup artists, and of course, makeup artists, and it turns
Makeup artisans is the correct enunciation, monk. Have you no couth?
out that they have something meant exactly for this, okay, to alter the eyes, and it's something called
Lids by design. Lift, divine, rejuvenates tired, sagging eyelids instantly and effortlessly. Kayla. Don't get me started on Kayla. So you can make your eye from like a saggio eye over on the left to this like younger looking eye on the right. From how do you do that?
an invisible, transparent eyelid tape strip, something or other used by professional makeup artists now.
Before, after.
We learned something new, and I think we're on to something here, folks. So if the culprit is someone that
Did you leave a comment? Because I got the video pulled right here. I'm going to the last comment. 19 comments, and I don't see you in here. I could put a comment in here right now. Hey, comment. I just made a comment. So Jessica, go make a comment on last night's video, and I will make you a mod. Dolly's Live? We talked about what on Dolly's Live? You did? Oh, you did. I don't see it. I got 19 comments on this. Let me refresh it. Whoops.
that is recognizable, right? An inside job, so to speak. That intelligent person is going to manifest their likeness into something unrecognizable in every way they think is possible. The guy moved like an old man, but he had eyes as perky as a schoolgirl. I don't think so. This also made me again look at that brazen crotch holster that this guy is wearing, which I know many people have told me countless times in the comment section that this is called a Mexican carry. I get it. But allow me to school you just a little further. After Googling, the traditional version of the Mexican carry is with no holster at all, right? Just a gun straight down the...
Oh, not in this chat, in his last video. Go to his last live or video Mab has on the show. Go to the comment section. There you will see a screen where you can comment, not chat. After the video is over, you can't chat anymore. It's just going to be a comment. If you leave a comment, I can click on the 3 buttons and I can make you a mod. Same with Patriot Pride. I could make Justice Jane a mod if she leaves a comment. So, yeah, that's how it works. So let's continue.
Front of your pants.
What I hope is going to happen is that Dad's Gone Live, who is... Well, let's finish this up first.
The if you're not careful, blow your junk off carry. This is a 19th century practice by Mexican cowboys and Mexican revolutionaries.
I've done the blow your junk off carry a lot.
Which leads me to believe the gun there in the non-matching holster is more about, hey guys, look what I got. And maybe a diversion to make you think that he's Mexican. Because let's just think about this just for a moment. If this is a targeted kidnapping, as most of us believe, as almost everybody believes by now, there really is no reason to expose your gun like this, because you know your target. You already know that she's an 84-year-old woman that is probably not going to put up any sort of fight. She's on life-sustaining meds. She has a pacemaker. She is pretty much deaf.
What's up, Adam?
Keep that gun hidden. Imagine you run into a neighbor or a police on patrol at 2 a.m. in the morning. That's not out of the range of possibility, right? Is having a gun out like that a good idea? No. Of course it's not a good idea. You just keep it tucked away and concealed. The more I watch this footage,
All right.
the more I'm actually leaning towards that this guy is performing for us. He looked like he's about to knock, right? And then, oh, wait a minute. There's a door camera right here, which has been blaring all types of colors because of its infrared beams this whole time that I didn't notice in the pitch blackness. No, right? So he covers the camera up very poorly, you know, trying to rip out the camera. Once I saw countless examples of how easy it is to rip out a Nest camera from its bracket. Now, as I'm watching this guy do some really weird finger things, he's pretty much just molesting the Nest camera at this point. He could rip it out right then and there. He is meant to look bumbling. Building a nest on a nest, this whole thing really does start to look staged.
Not giving me the
So what do we
option
believe?
there.
I mean, we believe it's an inside job, right? And the actor is somebody known to the family. He is wearing a very ostentatious gun right there in the front. This guy wants to be recorded, ladies and gentlemen. He wants this footage that we're watching right now, if ever recovered, to be seen. A red herring, which if this is the case,
Be right back.
we have to question everything about the events
I'll make
of
this
that
much.
night, down to the very blood droplets that were possibly planted now on that porch. What if that thing in his pockets is not a Wi-Fi jammer or even a walkie-talkie? What if it's some kind of vial with Nancy's blood in it, right? We even have to question the timeline. We must wonder now if Nancy even ever made it home that night. So we put our faith in the FBI, and I'm sure they're already trying their best to piece this entire thing together with what they were given. Basically, what they inherited from Pima County. And if we have faith in any department trying to solve this case, it would be them. And if we enter into the realm that this whole thing was performative and staged, then we just opened up a can of worms of countless possibilities. It also bugs me that there were no cars captured at all so far that we know of. You know, of all these routes the culprit would have had to take to get out of Nancy's neighborhood. It also bugs me even more that there is no footage of Tommaso's car recorded somewhere when he was taking Nancy home that night. I mean, maybe FBI does have it. Maybe Pima County does have it, and they're holding on to it. Maybe that car made an interesting turn that they haven't yet been able to explain. There's also the question that I've been asking since day one. Was Tommaso and Annie's son home the night that grandma came to visit for 4 hours? Now, this case is very bizarre. In one of the news channels that I watched, one of the former FBI agents was saying that it's probably time, if the FBI actually does not have any leads, it's time to actually lay out the evidence for the public to look at. Because what else are you going to do with that if you yourself can't figure it out? Let the public see if they could recognize something. So I expect, I guess, soon that the FBI and Pima County would do this, if not for the sake of this case just growing colder and colder every single day. My name is Monks. Now go protect the ones that you love and love the ones that protect you.
I made a couple of mods, so it should be good for now. Okay, that monk one ended. So I'm back up here. Hide current comment. So yeah, there's this other Daphne's Case Files has kind of a video. Who's very sick, not the guy in the video. Luna Moon. Oh, Tony's sick. That's no good. Who's very sick? You mean Tony the Tiger? Oh no. We'll be praying for Tony the Tiger, that's for damn sure. Me and Tony go way back. Way, way back. Yeah, so I made a post on my page. Let's see what it says. It says, is this the guy? Is this the same guy? Let me share this screen with you. See what our results are going to be. This is the post I made earlier, so I know it's the same guy. I mean, I can just look at the facial features and tell it's the same guy. So I've got 21 comments. Okay. Resembles the guy, too, that was driving past Guthrie's home in the blue car. So we know it's a blue Nissan Rogue with the torn up white rack on it. Okay. If not, they're brothers. No, I think his frame is smaller than the guy on the doorbell cam in Nancy Guthrie's home. And that's not the question. The question is if these two guys are the same guy. It's not, is this guy Porch Guy? It's if these guys are the same guy. That was the question. Very similar. Good possibility. Yes, yes, yes. Could be the same guy. Yeah. Who is this guy? This could be Porch Guy. Same forehead, same nose. Even the gray, white, and the beard is exactly the same. The ear is fuzzy, so we can't rely on it, but it looks like he gained 20 pounds and grew his hair out. And he had about 41 days in between the jobs to do it, in between the days to do it. It's long enough to do both. Does anyone know if this car is blue? Yes, it's a blue car, and it's a Nissan Rogue. Yes, so I sent an email to DGL, Dask on Live. He acknowledged me in the chat just about an hour ago, and he is going to get back to me, hopefully with the license plate of this blue Nissan Rogue. Then we'll be getting somewhere. No, I don't think so. Nope, not the same. Nope, 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 yes, nope, yes, yes. So they're all over the place, but for me, when you look at these humps, oh, you can't see my cursor, can you? You can't see my cursor, but look at the right above his nose, these two big bulging things with this little dip in between his eyebrows, right above his bridge of his nose. That is very, very unique. And the way his nose has a little ski slope that jumps off right there, it's the same. These are the same guys. Telling you. This one, okay, is shot from the top. That's one thing. Probably shaved his head or did something. He still has the facial hair. Now he's let his hair grow back in. It's been 40 days in between times. This is grown back in too. and he's still got the same bulging thing and the same ski jump nose. So I believe it's the same guy. I'm sticking with my story. We'll add them up and we'll see what the percentage is. I don't know how to do a poll, or I do that. We are OGs. Donna, Justice Jane, Luna Moon. We're all the OGs. Leave a comment, Jessica, on the video, and I'll make you a mod too. Just leave it on the one tonight, and I'll make you a mod after we get out of here. Anyway, back to something else. Now, this gal, let me see, his dad's gone live right here. He's still live. He's been sitting here.
Hey, I'm not arguing with you. It is weird.
We could be like those channels and sit here for 4 hours. Look at this. So the white Kia Soul was seen in the background of, you were on the live, I was on the live when that happened too. And it was freaky. Even Jacob was freaked out about it. I think it's the same guy. Oh my God, it is the same guy. And Monk posted him getting into a white car, a Soul. I think it was Monk. I want to see that. Yep. The power couple. Bubby 71, what's up? I had to go back home Saturday. I had a family issue. Yeah. He could totally change in 40 days. I could stop walking, eat ice cream every night, and not shave. And in 40 days, I would be 20 pounds heavier and I'd have a beard. Okay. So it's not that hard to do. I've already lost almost 15 pounds in just less than that amount of time just by starting to walk 5 miles a day. My wife is Puerto Rican. They tend to have heavier eyebrows than the front door man. Prayed for him at the end of Patriot Pride Live. It was in our chat. He was added to our prayer list. Cool. Good to hear. Patriot Pride Official is a mod. All right, we got mods. That's cool. When we have 120 people, we need mods in case somebody goes psycho and goes rogue. How do I stop? Get it out of here. What the hell happened there? There.
Right? Since Annie and Tommaso were there, it would be all over. They would have DNA all over the house. That's something I thought too.
This is Dad Gone Live.
Wouldn't Annie and Tommaso's DNA be all over the home?
Yeah, I got a few mods.
I haven't really had many good updates lately.
I don't need a whole lot of mods, just a few. I don't want to have like everybody being a mod, you know, and then we'll all start with mod wars and shit. Oh, we'll keep that in mind. Bubby71, no problem. I will keep that in mind.
Nothing really.
When we get to 100,000, we're going to need like 15 mods. Then we'll have more. And we've already gained let's see, on Wednesday, we just broke 2,000 subs. And right now, we've got we have 2,147. So we've gotten 147 new subs since Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So in 4 days, we've gotten 147 new subs. That's rad. At that rate, we'll hit 2,500 no time. Let's go. I can be quiet. Mrs. Mab's gonna bust me. Yeah. I was in the interview room earlier, and I'm like, I think I may know who the Porch Guy is, right? Because I've talked to Chris McDonough a bunch of different times. I've been on his first live he ever did. I was on there. I've talked to him on the lab. I've talked to him a couple times, and I wanted to get his take on this because he's, seasoned investigator, and I'm sure if I showed him these two pictures, he would see the same shit I'm seeing. And if I showed him the video of this guy taking the bite light out of his mouth and putting it back in, like we see on this video here, then hold on, I'm not showing you guys. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. There is a way to switch these faster, I figured out. They're all numbered. Number 98. Bam.
What am I doing?
Go the other way.
Right there. You had it.
Right there.
How to change.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out, like, if you have I got a monitor over here with like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I got 16 tabs open here. I've got Instagram up. I've got the tattoo shop for Kayla. I've got Ghost Girl up here. I got the Twisted Angels modeling group up here. I got a lot of shit up here. And now I figured out how to just click one button and go from sharing this to sharing something else. Let's test that out right now. Let's see if we can jump to Brian Enton, just for fun. Watch. Bam! Wow, that worked.
50 in the search for Nancy Guthery, which I can't believe we're at that point, day 50 now.
Day 50.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my show. I really, really appreciate it. Please click to subscribe. I really appreciate all the support. It is now day 50 in.
No, it's not alt tab. It's just a thing that says sharing tab to StreamYard. It says stop sharing. Or like if I go off of this tab, it says share this tab instead. And I can just click that and it goes immediately to the one I want. I don't have to bring them down, pick that, click that, go back. It's going to make everything way easier. I mean, probably everybody else knew that, but I just didn't know that. So let's go back to her. Where was I? Okay.
You'll see the movement. You'll see the weight of the gun apparently at the bottom of that pocket, and it's as if the gun is laying
Yeah, like he's carrying that gun in his pocket, I believe, too. And he has a bite light.
In that pocket. See how you can see?
Yeah,
it?
you can.
Yeah, he just took his bite light out right there. Right there. He did it.
And it's as if the gun.
Watch. He's messing with it right here.
Is laying like
Oh, right there.
laying
Puts it in his pocket.
in
It's out right here.
full in that
Right here.
pocket.
Grab
Yeah,
it.
you can
Get out of the
Yeah,
mouth.
you
Put
can
it in the
see
backpack.
this.
There.
Is
Bam. Just did it. And it is the same guy. Now, do we see supposedly there's a white Kia Soul back here somewhere that Doug Live Northport caught, right? That could be brothers. There could be brothers. Yes, you're right. There could be brothers with the same big old head.
definitely some.
Yeah.
Weighty in his right pocket.
Right. He's also got something in his right pocket, like a phone, and it looks like I can't see that much, but when
But
I see
let me. Can I just say something quickly? Look at his. Forgive me. Look at his rear end. He looks kind of skinny. Look at his legs.
Yes.
He looks kind of skinny. And can we see our actual abductor video
Got the mud butt.
now? Because he did not look skinny to me. Now you raised the point of maybe the guy by the time he gets to Nancy's or.
I think he's got a pair of sweats under those pants. You know, it's like 30 something degrees. Yeah, Holly Dolly. If you zoom in on this, you can see a pickup to his left, and there's a hooded person across the pickup bed. I want you to see them. Zoom in on this. I could take a screenshot of this. Is it in this view right here?
When this guy, look at this. Don't you think?
Oh, well, we need to see the full video back here. We're looking at both of them at the same time.
fully
Okay, where's the pickup truck? Oh, I see the pickup truck.
in that pocket. See how you can see?
Yeah,
it?
you can see. There's definitely something weighty.
Okay. How do I do a screenshot on this? I know how to do it, but I forgot. Oh, no, I know how to do it. Never mind. I got an app that does it. No, I don't need that. I don't mean that. I mean, I have an app that does it. It's in my... No, it's not there. It's in my apps. Like utilities. And then it's called like the snipping. Oh, screenshot. So let's screenshot this.
In his right pocket.
Right.
And another thing called a snipping tool. But I want it to be able, oh, I see it now. Okay, let's capture this. We'll capture this. Captured. All right. Captured. So, does that go to my desktop or what? It goes to my desktop. So, There should be, that capture should be on my desktop. But I want to do something else. I want to. All right, might as well just capture this too. I want to go back and stop it right when he pulls that damn thing out of his mouth.
Like
Slow it down, right? All the way.
laying in
He's going to take it out of his mouth right now.
full in that
Now he's putting his hand up to his mouth.
pot.
Got it in his mouth. He's got a hold of the bite light right now in his hand. I'm going to take this screenshot, and then we'll take another screenshot in another couple of milliseconds. Capture that now.
Yeah.
I want to do that one too. Doing scientific investigations, folks. Then we're going to blow these up.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Let's capture this one. Because he should have it in his hand right now. Bam! Got your ass.
Yeah, you can.
That's it. I'm going to capture that too. I think he's putting it in his backpack right now. Gotcha. Son of a bitch.
See this is that.
All right, I think that's good.
Definitely something weighty in his right pocket.
Right. He's also got something in his right pocket like a phone.
Is that person moving in the back, Holly Dolly? Across the pickup bed. On the other side of the pickup bed, there's a hooded person. All right, we'll be able to see it when we blow it up.
Or and it looks like
Hey, Linda. What's up?
I can't see that much, but
Let's turn her down until we get the shot we want. But I think this is Porch Guy. How many other people are running around with bite lights and creeping around at night in that blue car? He may have a white Kia Soul, or his buddy may have a white Kia Soul. Because I think on the video that the FBI had of the car going, at some point he puts this bite light back in his mouth. He's messing with his mouth right now, and he may have just put it back. Right there, he was putting it back in his mouth. But they cut it off. All right, let's see if we have our screenshots. Holy shit, we got a lot of them. Okay. I've got a bunch of screenshots. What's this one? Okay, that's cool. Let me put these screenshots somewhere good. All right. We'll go to Map Investigates. We'll go to make a screenshot folder. And then we'll make Nancy or Porch Guy folder. And then we'll grab all of these snapshots, chuck them in here. Bang. Done. Now if I open all these up, I should just be able to slide between them. Let me see. Maybe I can copy them. They're all PNG. I don't like PNG. I'd have to open up and export them all as JPEGs. Export. Hold on, everybody. Well, I can do that off of live time. Yeah, I'll do it later. But we got one of them right here. That's Car Guy. So you say there's a hooded person across from the truck. Let's look at that. Let's stop the screen, share the screen, share a window. That. Okay. Now we got a screenshot of this guy. Open. So let me see if I can blow it up. Oh, this guy here. It's kind of blurry. You're talking in this area here. Another guy standing on across the side of the other half of the truck. It could be. Yes, Holly Dolly. So he's like in between these two windows. Is that what you're saying? So is this his head right here? Is that his head? Holly? He has a hood on? Is that his head right there? Yes, okay. I see that. It's not real perfect. You see it too? You see something? It looks like someone with a hoodie. I'm looking through the TV, but now it's so dark, it's hard to tell, but it does look like someone's standing there. Yeah. Looks like the guy from last night. Well, I've got him pretty zoomed up here. Let's zoom him up some more. Yeah. How do I stop doing that? It's like there's a whole guy standing right here. And he's right. He's kind of blocking the light from these windows. Otherwise, you should be able to see. There's windows right there. You ought to be able to see behind that, but you can't. Right? You're welcome, Ollie Dolly. I got it. Wonder if we could screenshot that little part of this. Let me go over here. Preview, and then let me hit my screenshot thingy. Let me move this over here and make it line up with this. Let's bring the window in it too so we can compare. And we'll bring this up so we can be able to see the truck too. We'll take this other thing out. Where the hell is this? Oh, I can't do that one doing that, so. But I don't want to screenshot that other thing. Okay, we're going to skip that. We're going to get rid of this guy. Now we're going to do it again. That's what we want to capture right there. Got it. Throw that in our folder. Nancy Guthery. Where did I put him in screenshots, right? Oh, okay, it's right here. So let's drag this into here. Got it. We got it. So now we should be able to open that all by itself, right? And that would be there. Watch. That is what it looks like, big, right there. So this head, right? This is the guy right here, standing across from the truck. So we got him. We got him. All right, sweet. So now what do we do? Let's stop that. I think he kind of has the same leaning over kind of weird way of walking too. Here he is with his bite light. Bam, took it out, put it in the backpack. I can't believe that Maureen O'Connell, FBI agent, didn't even notice that. She's like, so if the FBI is the FBI, they ought to already know about this, right? And when he showed, I'm not showing anything right now, Jim. When he showed the backpack in the video, it was really gross. And he had blood on the arms and the bottom of the coat on his jeans, backpack, and lightened the picture somehow. Not sure if it's real. In this particular video, is what you're saying, Miss Lori Ann? Yeah, that's the one I want to try to blow up. Let me see that. Let me see. I've got, they're not named, so I'm just going to have to open all of them to try to find the right one. Open with preview. Okay, we don't want that one. We don't need the guy in the car. We don't need that one. I'm just opening them to find the right one. Come on, man. I don't need 3 of them with the guy. All right, there's one. Start at the bottom. All right, let's look at. I'll let you guys watch this video while I'm doing this, because otherwise you're going to be sitting there bored as shit. All right, Patriot. We'll see you in the morning. I'm going to play this while I'm looking.
Staff. They're going to have as much as they can to blow that thing up and look at it in every single step of the way. Also, I'd want to make sure it's confirmed the time and the location. We can't do anything about that, but we'll assume for now the location and the time is consistent with the Guthrie neighborhood and, of course, the night of the abduction. So, yeah, there's a lot here. I mean, we talked before in the last week or so. None of us really believe in coincidences, certainly in terms of criminal activity, violent criminal activity, but this would be a coincidence on steroids if in fact somehow it's not related. So this guy absolutely, positively has to be ruled out, identified. If he's just some local yokel, dumpster.
Okay, I got the bite light blown up, and I can see it. There's pixels there, but it's small. It's really small. So let me share. There he is. See that little line right there? His hand stops, and that little line between his mouth and his hand is the bite light. A mystery wrapped in an enigma tied up into a Gordian knot with mustard on it. That's good, Eric. Good one. Donnie, you see that bite light? See that little line? His hand stops right here. His face is right here, and there's a little line between it, and that is the flashlight. Got it. Yeah. Okay. How many people on the morning of February 1st, the night of January 31st, after midnight, are running around with a bite light in their mouths in between those hours of the night of the 31st and the 1st? What are the odds that there's two guys running around with a bite light with a backpack that looks like that and probably has that holstered weapon in his pocket of that sweatshirt? What are the odds of that? I mean, I think we have our man. The only problem is where is the evidence that, you know what I'm saying? Where's the evidence that we can, yeah, the key of soul. Let's go see if we can find that. Doug at Northport had that video. What is it? Doug Live Northport. Let's look. Okay, here's the one that I got a screenshot from. This one. Hold on. See, they're trying to capture what I got clear. Very suspicious. Nancy was kidnapper drive by the home at 2 a.m.
Last night I'm watching Dad's Gone. Hello, Doug Live here, Northport, Florida. Last night I'm watching Dad's Gone Live out at the Nancy Guthery house. And I don't know if it's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., around there, really late. And he was out there filming and a car came by. You got to watch this video and we'll explain it after.
Here comes a car.
It looks like there's road work going on because there's only like one lane. He's got his visor down too. See, here's the snapshot I got, but it's clear because I got it from, hey, 3 Dot. We found the Porch Guy, dude. I've got this picture. I should send it to him, huh?
He's kind of booking it.
Yeah, he sure was. He was flying down that road. And if you look at this right here, look at this. I slowed down right here. Look at that. It looks like he's got something on his roof. That's not a sunroof. I don't know what that is. And if you notice, coming up here, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it in slow motion. Watch this, and then we'll go to more detail. And the reason I just wanted to say the reason we're shut down so to hide from the camera. You'll see it right there. Look at he's, and the reason the guy is going so fast, it's just too strange. You got something weird on your roof. You're going too fast. You're trying to hide yourself, and he's got a kind of a beard with white on it and looks like a goatee. Or
I wonder if he ever got the real picture that we got. Yeah, he was flying. It's amazing we got the picture we got. So that picture right here is actually it's actually this dude here. Yep. That is actually this dude here. See, Mad's got a clean shot right there. And he's got some broken ass shit on his top of his car. That ain't part of the Kia. I mean, that's not part of the Nissan Rogue. It's a 2021 to 2024 Rogue. Yeah, he's going way too fast for the neighborhood. Very sus. Hey, Shauna, what's up? I saw you over there at the interview room. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting stuff, guys. What else has Doug got? Looks like tomato. It's not tomato. Take it to the FBI. It's a tip. I already know exactly who this guy is. All right, let's pump that. All right, let's kick that. Bam. That's Dad's Gone Live. This is JLR. This is a little Anton.
But there's been a lot of developments in the last 24 hours. First of all, a new statement from the Guthery family, which I'm going to go through carefully with you because there are a few things in the statement that I found to be especially interesting. For the first time, we're seeing them acknowledge that January 11th is a significant date.
Yeah, I saw you over there, Shauna. I think it's a travel rack on top of that vehicle that's smashed. Yeah, it looks like something white that's smashed. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's crazy.
So I'm going to go back and explain to you why that is with some new information that I found out. Also, a new interview with Sheriff Nanos.
So hopefully I'm going to have this guy's license plate by tomorrow morning. And then I know a guy who owns one of the biggest private investigations company in the United States. It does work for all kinds of insurance companies, rich people that are surveilling their husbands that are cheating, all kinds of crazy shit like that. I know the owners of the company, so we'll see what happens. The Mapster might just break this damn case wide open.
And this is from a local radio station in Arizona where he seemed to be very comfortable. And just, it was a more casual interview, which I found to be sort of interesting because he seemed to open up about some things that I hadn't heard him open up about before. So I'm going to get into all these new developments in this episode of Brian Enton Investigates. Hey guys, all right, so I'm going to get to the new interview with Sheriff Nanos, the Pima County Sheriff, who is really over the investigation. Although when you'll see in this interview, it's interesting when they bring up the fact that he's in charge of the investigation, he sort of pushes back a little in a weird way, which I'll let him explain that. And I'm going to go through everything new that he said. And it's a really interesting sort of new interview from him. He says some things that I haven't heard before, I think because it's more of a relaxed setting. But first I want to talk about the new Savannah Guthery family statement that has been put out. We obviously haven't heard from the Guthery family in weeks. For a while, Savannah.
Do I get the 1.2 million if the 1.2 million is for bringing back Nancy Guthery, not for figuring out who the perp is. If I figure out who Porch Guy is, do I get the 1.2 million? I doubt it. Up to 1.2 million. That means I ain't giving you shit. Up to 1 million, they may give me $20. Yeah.
Was posting, videos to her Instagram, really emotional, just terrible video, awful to watch what they're going through, where she was pleading for help from the public. And then it just kind of went silent for a while. You remember we saw Savannah Guthery.
But yeah, I first got to say too, everything here is speculation. We're not accusing anybody. This guy in this picture, I have no idea who he is. He's probably innocent. We're just trying to help the investigation proceed in an orderly manner. We're trying to help. That's all. We're not, break the case and you're famous. I'm going to be famous anyway through that. In fact, I already am famous. You just don't know it. I invented DVR. So I'm already famous. I invented the, this shit you see on your YouTube videos where it says, you hit more and then it shows you a transcript of the case. I invented that too.
And her sister Annie and her sister's husband Tommaso, they were all out at the house. They went out and
I'm a legend in my own mind, 3 dot.
Looked at the memorial. You could hear Annie Guthery, audibly weeping. It was really, really sad. And then we didn't hear from them after that. Savannah went back to New York. There were those photos of her at the Today shows, seeing her colleagues again. She still hasn't been on the show, but she went for a visit and we haven't heard anything from them since until now. There is now this new statement from the Guthery family. So let me read it to you. It says, we are deeply grateful for the outpouring from neighbors, friends, and the people of Tucson. We are all family now. We continue to believe it is Tucsonans and the greater Southern Arizona community that hold the key to finding resolution in this case. Someone knows something. It's possible a member of this community has information that they do not even realize is significant. We hope people search their memories, especially around the key timelines of January 31st and the early morning hours of February 1st, as well as the late evening of January 11th. We desperately ask this community for renewed attention to our mom's case. Please consult camera footage, journal notes, text messages, observations, or conversations that in retrospect may hold significance. No detail is too small. It may be the key. We miss our mom with every breath and we miss our mom with every breath and we cannot be in peace until she is home. We cannot grieve. We can only ache and wonder. Our focus is solely on finding her and bringing her home. We want to celebrate her beautiful and courageous life, but we cannot do that until she is brought to a final place of rest. Thank you for continuing to pray without ceasing. And then it is signed the Guthery family.
You remember the note she left in front of her mom's house? You remember what it said? You want me to read it to you? Here's what Annie and Tommaso and Savannah left in the card at B little flower memorial in front of Nancy's house when they were just huddled around right there. Mama, we miss you so much. Our hearts are broken. We are standing on ash, on scorched earth. But Mom, though we are surrounded by so much darkness and uncertainty, our love burns bright. We love you, Mommy. We miss you so much. Our best friend. That was what they wrote. Why would they put ashes and scorched earth? You know, they have a scorched earth fetish ball in Tucson that all these freaking wackos attended. Good freaking Lord. The flycatcher. Sounds sarcastic. No, I'm just putting a little bit of feeling into it, well, like they would have done, right? Mama, oh my God. Not sarcastic.
Cameron and Christine, Annie and Tommaso, Savannah and Michael. There are a couple of things that stand out to me here. First of all, when she says we continue, or when they say, the family says, we continue to believe it is Tucsonians. Oh, they say Tucsonans. It's the first time I've heard that phrase before.
It should be Tucsonians. It shouldn't be Tucsons.
Tucsonans and the greater Southern Arizona community that hold the key to finding resolution in this case. I found that to be very interesting because it is something that I have heard over and over again, never from the Guthery family, but from sources that I have within law enforcement and also law enforcement experts that I've interviewed on the show several times. And that is that there is this belief that whoever did this is from the Tucson area, could even be from that neighborhood, but is from somewhere in the Tucson area. And since the beginning, that has been a theory that I have heard over and over again, that it could be a local, that there are local people who know what happened. And remember, the first two raids that we saw, which at this point seem unrelated, but the one was in Rio Rico, which is just about an hour from where Nancy lives, close to the Mexico border. And the other raid was just a couple of miles from Nancy's house. Again, those didn't seem to turn into anything, but it does feel like the focus has been on the Tucson area.
Okay, the other one, you notice he said, was only a couple of miles from Nancy's house. That means this creep in the blue car was backed into a driveway only 2 houses down from Luke Daly, right? Who got the warrant served on his house and his Range Rover, and his mother's house, I should say. And so that he was creeping around 2 miles from Nancy's house just last week. I got to get the exact time that Dad's Gone Live did that video, but okay. So Doug from Northport actually said what I could figure out the date from Doug Northport's video because he said last night, so I could figure out when that night was, and that's the last time this guy was creeping around 2 miles from Nancy's house in that blue Nissan Rogue with that shatty ass white top on it.
Yes, we've seen the billboards go up in other states, but the sense that I've gotten over and over again is that whoever is responsible for this is probably from the area. And it's just interesting to see the Guthery family say right there in the statement that we believe it is Tucsonans and the greater Southern Arizona community that hold the key to finding resolution in this case. So I think that just goes back to this belief that it is someone from the area, which has always just kind of, I found that to be very interesting and kind of creepy to a certain extent, just because the person who did this may be right under the fingertips of police. It could be someone that has been out to the scene. It could be someone that we've seen when we've been out at the scene.
What's up, Indy Moon?
Doing coverage. I mean, that has happened in other cases before. So I think that's something that we have to be cognizant of. And that just stood out to me in the statement. Something else that stood out to me.
Right, Ash Cash? Dark and weird, yeah?
We hope people search their memories, especially around the key timelines in January 31st and the early morning hours of February 1st. Okay, that makes sense because we know that Nancy was likely abducted in the early morning hours of February 1st. So that makes sense. But then they say, as well as the late evening of January 11th. So there we go again with the January 11th date being brought up. And this is the first time that the Guthery family.
January 11th means that dude, same dude, Porch Guy, is sitting there with a complete black background because, and I found the guy on TikTok who discovered that it was a 99% brightness out on the night of January 31st, February 1st. That night was the brightest phase of the moon there is. That's why it looked like it was almost light out, because you could even see a shadow from the Porch Guy because it was so light. It was 99% light on the scale of 0 to 100. It was 99. And on the night of the 11th, it was like 0. That's why it was so dark.
Has brought up January 11th. We've heard from neighbors. I've heard from neighbors that when the FBI comes to their house, the people who live right around Nancy, that they have asked specifically if they saw anything unusual on January 11th or if they have any video to share from their cameras on January 11th. But this is the first time I've actually seen the Guthery family specifically say that, and it wasn't just January 11th, if anyone saw anything the late evening of January 11th. So there is something about the late evening of January 11th, which is, let me look at my calendar again. I know it's a weekend. It was, January 11th was a Sunday. There's something about the late evening of January 11th that is definitely very significant in this case. Remember, there were the photos from the front door of the suspect from Nancy's Google Nest camera that the FBI was able to recover. And I have been told that those pictures are from different days. Now, the sheriff, even in this new interview you're going to hear in a second with him, continues to push back on that, saying that they don't know that the photos are from different days. Look, I have sources, good sources, who are telling me that those photos are from different days, and I don't really understand why the sheriff continues to push back on that reporting, not only by me, but by, I think, ABC, NBC, Fox. Pretty much everyone at this point has reported that those photos are from different days. And I don't know if they have the same sources that I do. I have no idea. That's not really how it works. Like, us reporters don't. I'm friends with a lot of the reporters from other networks, but we don't say like, oh, this was my source. I would never do that. So I don't know if they have the same sources, but they are reporting the same thing. So I don't know why the sheriff continues to push back on that these photos are from different days. But the reason I bring it up again is it seems the one photo from the previous day, not the day that Nancy was taken, may have been from January 11th. And that's significant because you look at the calendar and that was weeks before Nancy was abducted. So that means, and we've talked about this before, that means that someone was casing the neighborhood, was casing Nancy's house, was at Nancy's house weeks before she was abducted. And it's very interesting to me that the Guthery family is now specifically putting the January 11th date in their new statement. And trust me, this statement was definitely approved by the FBI and by investigators, and maybe even crafted in part by investigators. So there is nothing in here that's just sort of slipping in by mistake. I mean, this is all, I would imagine, very carefully curated, just like Savannah's videos were. So January 11th, again, in the statement, first time we've heard it from the Guthery family. And I'll just say again, one of the other neighbors, and I talked about this in a previous episode, if you go back and listen to her interview, one of the neighbors also said that investigators were also very interested in January 24th, which is a Saturday, which is the Saturday before Nancy went missing, which just goes back to, these are all weekends, okay? January 11th is on a Sunday, January 24th is on a Saturday, Nancy goes missing early Sunday morning on the 1st. Is this suspect someone who works during the week? I think it's a valid question. We don't know, but why is...
Donna Clark, you sent me an email on May 21st, yesterday, with a couple comments. Go answer your own stuff at this point. I've said for the jump, I think Barney Nano is somehow involved. What video is this you're watching at 105.24 out of 245.32? Which video is that? Am I supposed to be catching something I don't see? He already has at Joanne Richardson's 1358. Oh, that's not for me. Anyway, Donna, yeah. Why don't you reach out to guys? I already have. I've emailed him already, and I sent him a super chat. He knows I emailed it. And oh, okay, that's what you're saying. Let me go. Yeah, it was yesterday, Donna, and it was. I couldn't figure out what you were trying to tell me. Anyway, while you're working on that, let's listen to this.
Is all of this activity that they're looking into, why does it all seem to be from weekends? something to consider there. Okay, back to the statement. There was one other thing that stood out to me.
Well, 3-dot. The guy on the porch has kind of a duck walk and a mud butt, and so does Tommaso. Actually, walks the same way, has a bit of a bowed legs, but I still don't think it's Tommaso. His beard's too damn big. Unless he shaved it.
Well, first of all, when they say no detail is too small, it's true. I just hope whoever's watching this, if you have any info, I've said it before, I mean, anything could help at this point. The other thing that stood out to me is this statement said, we cannot, it says, our focus is solely on finding her and bringing her home. We want to celebrate her beautiful and courageous life. So we want to celebrate her beautiful and courageous life. But we cannot do that until she's brought to a final place of rest, which again.
I see that. Somebody sent me an email with those talking about those names, the Persian names. Abnusi, Mobashir, Barehamono, Batiar, and Abnus were the names that FBI at the gun scores were asking, all Iranian Persian names. Weird. Okay, so I got a record of that right here. All right, that's cool. We're going to crack the case, y'all.
Makes it sound like they believe that Nancy Guthery is not alive, or that there's a strong possibility that Nancy is no longer alive. And in the beginning of covering this, I wanted to believe that Nancy could still be alive. And it's still a possibility, obviously, but it seems like the family is processing the realization that the chances of her still being alive are very, very small. And I hate to say that, but I think it's just fact at this point, considering her age, considering her health, considering the fact that if this was a targeted abduction, which I have said, based on everything I know, is the theory that I think matches up the closest, that there was probably going to be some effort to get some ransom, and then something may have happened to Nancy. And that's why the case has gone cold. And that's why whoever did this never actually had a ransom letter, never actually tried to get specific money from Nancy's family. And again, that part is just a theory, but back to the statement, we cannot do that until she's brought to a final place of rest. It just stood out to me and sort of broke my heart, the fact that they are obviously coming to terms with the fact that Nancy is probably not still alive, which is very, very sad to think about. Hey guys, I was in Arizona for almost a month and a half, and my eating habits, they were not great. There was so much good Mexican food, and I found myself eating late at night when I would get done with work. So now that I'm back home for a bit, I am getting back into my Factor routine, and Factor is the sponsor of today's video.
Factor's actually pretty good. I eat Factor myself. So they would be a good sponsor for me if I ever get big enough.
Now look, sure, I get it. You only see people doing only one side of their face.
VOIA, which is an AM. Interesting. And the first part is where the hosts are sort of, seems like joking a little bit about the national media. There was the New York Post got shots of Sheriff Nanos in his convertible with the top down, and did a story about him driving around in his convertible and going to the gym, trying to make the point that, maybe he's not working hard enough on the investigation. Look, I mean, I'm sure at this point he has a right to still go to the gym. He has a Corvette. Make of that what you want. But they kind of poke fun at him a little bit with that, it seems like. And then he goes on to talk about what his role actually is in the investigation and what he thinks about some of the tips coming in. So listen to this.
Got a great shot of you with the top down with the Corvette. You're looking sporty there in that shot. So I mean, they've been all over this, of course, the Post, and as have media from around the world.
Absolutely. I've gotten tips as far away as Prague.
Really?
Australia, and it's people calling in with their theories or ideas and thoughts, and so then they continue to call, and that's a good thing. You don't want to discourage people from not calling. Right?
But sometimes it just it gets a little bit much, but it's okay. I want them to call us. All right, two-part question. Anything you would have done differently in this investigation? Second part, do you think we'll ever know what happened to Nancy Guthery?
Crystal?
Nothing different. I mean, I wish there was something I could do different that would have produced better results, but no, I think we started off today.
Yeah, I think if you were a freaking competent sheriff, you probably have saved the damn case to be solved by now, you dipshit.
You start off that I'm the lead investigator on this case. I hope that the community, the public understands that I'm not the investigator at all on this case. I have a team, a very qualified team of individuals. What would have been a better way?
I have a very qualified team of people that have been trained under my longest serving deputies that have 2 years experience. I mean, they're learning from the best. I mean, my 2-year guys have deep knowledge of how to process forensic crime scenes. You know, all the guys that had 10 or 20 years, they all left for some reason, I don't know, but all I have left are these 2-year guys, and the guys under them, they're just the best. They're the best there is.
Well, I might be in charge of the department that's handling this. Managing. I get briefed by my investigators. My role really is to protect them and keep them. But you're not yourself investigating. Oh, no. Those years are long past me. Trust me. But the reality is I have a team, a very qualified team. Mm-hmm. I think they had 13 homicides last year. Every one of them.
13 homicides last year. 13. Come on, man.
Solved some very difficult homicides. Everyone in Pima County, every homicide in our jurisdiction were solved. They have very high clearance rates.
So 2 things that stood out to me there. First of all, that he basically is saying he doesn't think he made any mistakes, or that the office made any mistakes, and that he stands by the way that they've conducted the investigation so far. I thought that was interesting because earlier on, in one of the earlier interviews, he sort of admitted that he thought that they cleared the crime scene too soon, and that if he could go back and do that again, he may not have done that. Because remember, they investigated. She went.
Yeah, right. 3 dot, right. I was subpoenaed. Yeah, the channel is going to be good, man. Believe me. I know how to make something successful. I used to run a multi-million-dollar company, so I know what I'm doing.
She went missing on a Sunday. They looked in the house, they investigated, and then they all left. There wasn't even a sheriff's deputy outside. You know, I got there and we were able to go get the blood on the front step. There was no one guarding the house. The investigation, it looked like, was done.
That's the big mistake, is that the sheriff released the crime scene way too early, which means the chain of custody on all evidence that they got after they went back is going to get thrown out of court because that dumbass didn't secure the crime scene. So anything that they bring out of that house after Nanos released it is going to get thrown right out of court. Thrown right out of court because it's no good. There's no chain of custody any longer. You can only go on what you had before you release the scene. Anything the FBI does after that, DNA, anything, the slightest doubt is going to get this case thrown out, or at least that evidence thrown out, because anybody could have just walked in there and pissed on the floor or whacked their wanky in the bed or whatever. And, you know, we got semen from freaking JLR in here. No, I'm just kidding, JLR. Don't sue me. It was a joke.
Then they came back out, realized that they shouldn't have cleared the scene, apparently, made another crime scene. FBI came in, did more evidence processing. But there's been criticism of the sheriff. Did your department clear the scene too soon? And early on, he said, yes, that may have been a mistake. But it seems like now he's saying, I haven't made any mistakes. I don't take back anything, so it seems like that's sort of changed a little bit. The other thing I thought was interesting there is how he's kind of downplaying his role as the boss of the agency, saying like, look, I'm the sheriff. I'm here to protect the guys. I'm the leader, but I'm not the detective. I'm not the investigator, which I guess is true. I mean, I guess technically that's true, but most of the times when I've interviewed sheriffs or police chiefs, I mean, they'll say the buck stops with me. I'm the top guy. I'm in charge of this. You know, that's what a lot of leaders do. And it's just kind of interesting to hear him say, oh, I'm actually, I'm not the investigator.
I'm actually just the fucking water boy. I just go get them Cokes, and, when they ask for something to drink, I get it. But they're doing all the work. I'm just the water boy of the team.
On this. I haven't done that in a long time. He goes on to talk about whether or not he thinks the case will ever be solved. Listen to this.
What about?
3 dot, I think there's something about... Yeah, it was a bad joke. Sorry. I apologize for that one. Just popped into my head. I was trying to come up with an example of someone who's out there, right? That could have broken the house and done whatever. But info about inheritance, will, or insurance policy. They could have had kidnapping insurance on her. I know they had kidnapping insurance for Savannah. That may have extended to her mother. That would be a big payout. There's the house, probably, I don't know how much, a couple $1 million worth of property there. I don't know if she invested right or smart. She may have freaking millions of dollars for all I know. You know, if she bought freaking Bitcoin and when it first came out, you know, we don't know that she didn't. So she could be a very wealthy woman. And we just don't know about her finances. But there was something about Annie getting power of attorney or somebody getting power of attorney or something. Jay from Guilty of Crime, I think, has those documents. I don't know I don't remember what they are. I'll email her, see if I can find out.
Are we going to know what happened here eventually? I believe we will, yes. I have full faith in my team's ability. We're working with the FBI. We're working with several labs around the country on this. We're working with forensics examiners of digital video media. There's just a lot going on. Not a cold case, not even close.
So the sheriff made pretty clear that he does not believe it's a cold case. I actually agree with him based on what I know from sources that I have. You know, I don't think I would characterize this as a cold case. Do I think that they are about to make an arrest and the thing is about to break open? No. But are they making progress? Yes. Are they still out pounding the pavement? Yes. Are they waiting on DNA results that could still break open the case? Yes. To me, a cold case is when, you know, they've pretty much exhausted everything and things are sort of at a standstill. And I don't get the sense that that is what is happening with the Nancy Guthery case right now. Maybe at some point it will be. I don't get the sense that that's the case right now. And I'll just say on the record again, based on everything that I know, I think they are going to solve this case. I think either the DNA evidence is going to come through or there's going to be some kind of lucky break. When that happens, I don't know, but I do think it.
I just sent Jay from Guilty of Crime an email asking about the POA documents. So I should have them by tomorrow, probably.
It's going to happen. Something else interesting in this next part of the interview I'm going to play for you, he talks about like his opinions when it comes to the case. Remember, in the past when he's talked about the case, he's kind of changed little facts here and there, which people have been critical of. And then he'll say, well, people are hanging on my every word. And he sort of differentiates some of the thoughts he has about the case versus the facts that his investigators have. And he explains, which is not something I've really seen with other police chiefs or sheriffs. Usually they're pretty buttoned up.
Laura, I'm just a real dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing my thing. Right?
But he tries to explain that in this part of the interview. And again, what I liked about this interview is it's so casual that I think we're kind of seeing another side of the sheriff. And some of it is pretty eye-opening. So listen to this part.
Without getting into the case itself, when I tell you that I believe this occurred or that occurred, that is my opinion. That's all that is. My other individuals in the case are investigators. They too have their thoughts and ideas and opinions. And I'm never going to set them down and say, no, that's not right or that's wrong. The case will get us there. We let the evidence show us the way.
Well, what is the evidence? We let the evidence show us the way. That means you have evidence, but you're telling us you have nothing. You have no suspects. You have no persons of interest. You've cleared the family like idiot. You can't clear anybody until you solve the case. So you cleared the family, then you uncleared the family. Right now, everything's speculative. We don't have anything in front of us that says this is who did this and this is why. So, I get it. Oh, God, this guy's driving me nuts.
And that's what we base everything on. Right now, everything is speculative. We don't have anything in front of us that says, this is who did this and this is why. So I get it. Things are said. Sometimes they're taken out of context. It really is, though, this case is a case that is probably unlike any case we've seen in years in Tucson. The closest I can come to it would be the Cialis girl. She was kidnapped, taken out of her bedroom. I think you would call the family, the father specifically,
really went through a lot in that case, and unjustified. So,
and Tim, you actually posted about that case.
I read about that case. It took 10 years to get resolution on that.
So when you hear him talk about the Sellis case, it's just a tragic case from Tucson. I just wanted to tell you guys about it real quick because he referenced it. It was a little girl, Isabel Sellis, who was kidnapped and killed. And this was back in 2012. That's why he's saying, it took 10 years to solve that case. He's kind of comparing it to the Nancy Guthery case. There was a man convicted of killing the 6-year-old Tucson girl. Her body was found years later in a remote desert area. Again, it took almost a decade. His name was Christopher Clements, the guy who was eventually sentenced. He always maintained his innocence, but there was a ton of evidence. And he was found guilty of first-degree murder, kidnapping, and burglary in the death of a little girl. Again, Isabel Sellis, vanished from her parents' home in 2012. And you hear what the sheriff is talking about is that, the dad, Isabel's dad, I guess, apparently was sort of, dragged through the mud through this whole thing. It ended up having nothing to do with him. I don't know if he's making that comparison because of the Guthery family, like Tommaso. There was all this internet chatter that he may have been involved in the Nancy Guthery disappearance, Tommaso being Nancy's son-in-law. Of course, there's no evidence to support that. And the sheriff has put out a very clear statement saying that no one in the family is considered to be a suspect. So it's kind of interesting that he brought up that case. And the fact that that case took 10 years, hopefully this Nancy Guthery case will not take 10 years. The sheriff also got some criticism because just within the last couple of weeks, he was asked, do you think that this person could strike again who did this to Nancy? And he said, absolutely, which took a lot of people off guard, especially because he had been saying that the case was targeted and then was saying basically he thought the person could strike again. I know the neighbors were really nervous about it. So they asked him about that in this radio interview. Take a listen.
This is the most anticipated smart security camera of the year. No internet connection needed. No wiring or complicated installation, and best of all, it's completely free to use for life. If you're dead and never lost, developed jointly by the U.S. National Academy of Engineering and Caltech, this smart...
Granted, you've noted that, there's crime in Tucson and around Tucson anyway, but what about the question of danger to the broader community?
Yes, Tim, I understand. And to me, it would be silly as the leader of a large. Don't worry about it. Just relax. This was the Guthery family. No, that's not what we want to tell our community. And from a law enforcement perspective, anytime we want you to be safe, secure in your homes, blocking your doors, paying attention to your surroundings. If you see something, say something. Just be safe.
You want to summarize then? What is your theory? Why don't maybe that would be helpful?
No, I believe.
Can you share with it what is your?
He doesn't have a damn theory. He's an idiot. He's a dumbass. Sorry. Speculation.
Theory of what happened. This is Chris Nanos, whatever.
What I would tell you is, I believe that Nancy Guthery.
I believe that Nancy Guthery was removed from her home against her will. Good Lord, you really? Is that what happened? Because she's gone and there's blood. Boy, you have a firm grasp of the obvious, my friend. Good Lord. Holy shit.
Was removed from her home against her will.
Mm-hmm.
That is a kidnapping.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, everything else is just, we'll see. We'll let the evidence take us there.
So again, still a little bit confusing. And I think, frankly, they just don't know the answer of whether it was actually targeted or whether if anyone else is at risk. So that might be why he's kind of dancing around that still. But again, I'll tell you, for people who live in the area, it's one of the things that they are feeling the most uncomfortable about is that the sheriff has kind of gone from saying it's targeted to saying, well, but at the same time, people should not let their guard down. And this person could, in his words, absolutely strike again. So it's interesting to hear him talk.
Yeah, brilliant, right?
Talk about that. And you heard me talk at the beginning about of this episode about the photos, the photos from the front Google Nest camera, and the fact that the sheriff continues to say that they don't know that they're from different days, but that our sources are saying they are from different days.
They are from different days, you dumbasses. I can tell that. And I'm not even in on the investigation. One day is completely black behind him, and the other day is 99% moonlight. The blackest day was January 11th. The brightest day was January 31st. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out.
He talks about that in the interview too. Listen to this.
This photo of remember the photo we gave at the man at the front door with the backpack on? There's another photo of him without a backpack on. It was released the same day we released it all. And people speculated that there are two different times and 2 different days. And it went crazy. And what I told them was simply this.
We have nothing in front of us. There's no time or date stamp on the photos that says those photos were taken at 2 different times.
You're a liar. Okay. There's metadata with everything. Yes, he's probably protecting the family. I mean, he's in the pocket of somebody. And this guy's got weird written all over him, in my opinion. He's shooting us some freaking reality TV show. You know, the head of the officers union. Nobody likes him. None of the officers in the whole damn union like him. They're taking a vote right now to get him recalled because he's such a dipshit. Allegedly.
So it would be irresponsible for me to say, yes, we think they're 2 different photos, 2 different days, 2 different. No, what we said was, here's the photos we have from the front door of that residence at what we believe is that time, because we know the camera is removed. So we're sharing with the public everything we can to say, identify this person.
So it is a little confusing again, because we're getting conflicting information from the sheriff's office and then from our sources about those photos. Is it possible the sheriff just doesn't know everything the FBI knows?
Sheriff and whose son-in-law? Tommaso?
I guess that's a possibility, but that it's still strange that all this time later there's kind of conflicting information coming out on the photos.
My brother is actually a good-looking dude, and he went gray in high school.
It's interesting. In the radio interview, then the host actually asked him about his reputation, about how he's handled the case, about
he's buddies with Tommaso and goes golfing with him.
Sort of what locals are saying about him in light of the national attention.
Is he dating Nancy or something?
And so much criticism of how he's handled the Guthery case. Listen to this.
So many in this community are saying, well, look at the sheriff, the way he's handled this, and he didn't portray our community, and when you were on national TV in the right light. How do you take all this? I'm glad they throw rocks at me, not my team. Just do it. That's okay. Maybe I made a mistake. I told them, I'll be your bad guy. I'll be your villain. Boy, they took that literally. But because I also got, the other day, I got a tip that said, I think it's Sacramento. Lady said I was at her house on January 4th at 11:30 in the evening, threatening to kidnap her. And she has a picture of me in my uniform. And I'm just saying, I go, where do these guys get this stuff? But it's okay to say all those things about solving some crimes. But that doesn't mean we just share the whole case with you. Yeah. So yes, people say, oh, look, he's talking and he's not telling us anything. He knows something. Yes, I know a lot.
Yes, I know a lot. But I'm not going to share that with the public. Well, why even open your goddamn mouth then? Sorry, Lord. Why open your big ass mouth if you're not going to say shit? Anyway, just stay quiet. Or what? I mean, this guy just drives me nuts. He's an idiot.
But I'm not going to share that with the public. It is about protecting the integrity.
So it does make sense when he says, that they can't tell the public everything. Of course, that's the case. I mean, that's the case with every ongoing criminal investigation, and they shouldn't tell the public.
It's also the case that they can lie to us, and they do lie to us, and they will lie to us, and they will continue to lie to us because that's their job, is to lie.
Everything, and they shouldn't tell the media everything because you don't want to jeopardize the investigation. But I think what confuses people with the sheriff is there has been some mixed messaging since the beginning. The story has changed a little bit. It continues to change a little bit. And I think that's the part that's confused people. And I thought this part was especially interesting given my job. But then he was asked about the national media, sort of the local media versus the national media, and who he thinks has been the most fair.
Now, here we go.
When I think of national media, I don't know how you do it. I think I've heard from media personalities that look at some of the media in a way that is like, they don't have the same code of ethics. They don't have the same education. That's always going to be the case. But to your point, your question, the main media has, and more importantly, my local media, they have been nothing but very professional, very courteous, and respectful. Not just of my time, but my privacy as well. The national media, beyond what we think of as national media, that's a different story.
Well, You know what? I think the YouTubers are better than the mainstream media. Period. We've got Dad's Gone Live. They're out there every night. You got JLR out there doing what he does. Not going to say anything about him. And you got Tucson. You got Criminal Network. You got these guys out there putting in the time and the effort. You got me putting this thing together, blowing up pictures, flipping them around. In fact, I'm going to flip them around so they're both facing the same way. And I'm going to blow them up even more so we can really, really see what is going on with these two pictures. Are they the same guy? Because if they're the same guy, which I believe they're 100% are, then we have the Porch Guy, in my opinion. Speculation, of course, but I believe we have the Porch Guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the odds of two people with a bite light on the same night within the same 6-hour window, or even 4. Yeah, he's out there right now. I just talked to him. I didn't talk to him in person a couple hours ago. It was 3 hours ago now. We've been on here. Yeah, so about an hour, 2.5 hours ago, I sent DGL a super chat that said, hey, remember the guy in the blue car, the creep? I need some help with something, whatever I said. I just sent you an email. I needed to help me out on this because I know he got the license plate number because he was right behind the guy and he has a very good camera, which is why he got that really good shot because he took one frame out of that high-speed camera he's got, and that's why I got that screenshot because he showed it. And I was watching him live and I screenshot it on my iPad. That's how I got that picture in the first place. And then I remembered the guy from the two backpack guy. And I was just watching it over and over. And then I got a screenshot of him and I blew that up. And I'm like, wait a minute, these are the same fucking guys. These are the same guys. So it takes a lot of investigating and time, just nobody handed me that shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just, it took work to figure that out.
To say on that point, I was in local news for most of my career. I started in Missouri, and then I worked in Savannah, Georgia, and then I worked down here in South Florida and Miami in local news, and then I went to News Nation and sort of did the national thing, which I'm doing now. There's a different dynamic between local and national news, and
getting hard and getting turned on are not the same thing.
That's why Blue Chew Gold was created.
Science. Like, I hate to
see, I'm not on the right. I need to be in the right. I need to switch my account back to this one. No.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my show.
No, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Screw it. Just lost it now. I lost the whole thing. Because if I'm signed in a certain way, I don't have to look at those damn. I don't have to look at commercials. Everybody looks at the last person that has seen the person. You know what I'm saying? You always look at the last person that you saw, the missing person. That's just how it works.
In the Nancy Guthery disappearance, Tommaso being Nancy's son-in-law. Of course, there's no evidence to support that. And the sheriff has put out a very clear statement saying that no one in the family is considered to be a suspect. So it's kind of interesting that he brought up that case. And the fact that that case took 10 years, hopefully this.
Amanda, yeah. The DMV could certainly figure out who owns that car. Well, I think I'm going to have the license plate by tomorrow, so it'll be really easy to find out who owns that car. Then, look at that turtle belt. Turtle Island is starting soon. That means season 7. Mrs. Mab's going to win season 7.
This Nancy Guthery case will not take 10 years. The sheriff also got some criticism because just within the last couple of weeks, he was asked, do you think that this person could strike again who did this to Nancy? And he said, absolutely, which took a lot of people off guard, especially.
Your mama? I might have missed. Do you have some info? Yes, I have info. Porch Guy Bite Light is the same guy. The same night. Within a couple hours. The guy that we have was out on the same night with a bite light, the same night that Nancy went missing. He's out doing his thing with the backpacks. I believe it's the exact same guy.
Especially because he had been saying that the case was targeted and then was saying basically he thought the person could strike again. I know the neighbors were really nervous about it. So they asked him about that in this radio interview. Take a listen.
Granted, you noted that there's crime in Tucson and around Tucson anyway, but what about the question of danger to the broader community?
Yes, Tim. I understand. And to me, it would be silly as the leader of a large. Don't worry about it. Just relax. This was the Guthery family. No, that's not what we want to tell our community. And from a law enforcement perspective, anytime we want you to be safe, secure in your homes, blocking your doors, paying attention to your.
Good night. I'll say a prayer for your daughter and her family there in Greece on 13-hour delay. Airport lines are long. Oh my God. All right, Indy Moon. Good night. Good to see you. Good to have you here.
Your surroundings. If you see something, say something. Just be safe.
Do you want to summarize then? What is your theory? Why don't maybe that would be helpful?
Oh, that might be why he's kind of dancing around that still. But again, I'll tell you, for people who live in the area, it's one of the things that they are feeling the most uncomfortable about is that the sheriff has kind of.
Can we see what? What do you want to see, your mama? Oh, the porch guy? I posted it on my channel. I made a post and said, is this the same guy? And there's a picture of 2 guys on there.
Kind of gone from saying it's targeted to saying, well, but at the same time, people should not let their guard down, and this person could, in his words, absolutely strike again. So it's interesting to hear him talk about that. And you heard me talk at the beginning about of this episode about the photos, the photos from the front Google Nest camera, and the fact that the sheriff continues to say that they don't know that they're from different days, but that our sources are saying they are from different days. He talks about that in the interview too. Listen to this.
This photo of remember the photo we gave at the man at the front door with the backpack on? There's another photo of him without a backpack on. It was released the same day we released it all. And people speculated that there are 2 different times and 2 different days. And it went crazy. And what I told them was simply this. We have nothing in front of us. There's no time or date stamp on the photos that says those photos were taken at 2 different times. So it would be irresponsible for me to say, yes, we think they're 2 different photos, 2 different days, 2 different. No, what we said was, here's the photos we have from the front door of that residence at that, what we believe is that time, because we know the camera is removed. So we're sharing with the public everything we can to say, identify this person.
It's a little confusing again, because we're getting conflicting information from the sheriff's office and then from our sources about those photos. Is it possible the sheriff just doesn't know everything the FBI knows? I guess that's a possibility.
I could show you the comparison real quick. Well, let me finish this video and then I'll show you. Are you going to be around for your mom? Are you going to be around for like 10 more minutes?
But it's still strange that all this time later, there's kind of conflicting information coming out on the photos. It's interesting. In the radio interview, then the host actually asked him about his reputation, about how he's handled the case, about sort of what locals are saying about him in light of the national attention and so much criticism of how he's handled the Guthery case. Listen to this.
So many in this community are saying, well, look at the sheriff, the way he's handled this, and he didn't portray our community, and when you were on national TV in the right light. How do you take all this? I'm glad they throw rocks at me, not my team. Just do it. That's okay. Maybe I made a mistake. I told them, I'll be your bad guy. I'll be your villain. Boy, they took that literally. But because I've also got, the other day, I got a tip that said, I think it's Sacramento.
I mean, that's the case with every ongoing criminal investigation, and they shouldn't tell the public everything, and they shouldn't tell the media everything because you don't want to jeopardize the investigation. But I think what confuses people with the sheriff is just there has been some mixed messaging since the beginning. The story has changed a little bit. It continues to change a little bit. And I think that's the part that's confused people. And I thought this part was especially interesting given my job. But then he was asked about the national media, sort of the local media.
Did you see the porch guy around the corner from Nancy's house with the same backpack with the reflectors? Yes. He's within 5 miles of her house, and then he was driving a blue Nissan Rogue around Luke Daly's house 2 miles from Nancy's just the other night.
Media versus the national media, and who he thinks has been the most fair.
When I think of national media, I don't know how you do it. I think I've heard from media personalities that look at some of the media in a way that is like, they don't have the same code of ethics. They don't have the same education. That's always going to be the case. But to your point,
Florida and Miami and local news, and then I went to News Nation and sort of did the national thing, which I'm doing now. There's a different dynamic between local and national news, and like, I hate to say this, but I just want to be truthful with you guys. When you're in local news and you have to work with the same authorities all the time. So like if you're a reporter in Miami and you have to talk to the sheriff every...
Well, right after this, I'm going to show you guys the best evidence I have. And then I will sign out because it's getting late. So right after this, I'll show you guys what I think is definitive evidence that we have the porch guy.
Every single day or every single week to get information for stories, you may not be as critical of the sheriff or of the police chief because these are people you have to work with all of the time. And if you're fair, you will still be critical at times. But overall, these are people that you sort of have to get along with at times because they're feeding you information as a...
One of these days, people are going to be playing my lives going, yeah, this guy Mab investigates to figure this out. Look, he's got these 2 pictures. And he blew them up and it compared it and it looks like the porch guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be Brian Enton one day and they're going to be pulling my video up and looking at it. Just like I'm doing with Sleuth and Monk and all these people.
The local reporter. And your life will become very difficult if you're on the crime beat and all of the sheriffs and police chiefs hate you. So typically local media is not as tough, at least in my experience, on local officials all the time because there's this relationship there where they will feed out stories and, you know, it's more difficult to be really, really critical of them all the time. With national media like me and like the other guys, you know, we come into a place like Tucson and it's like, we're just going to report it like we see it. I mean, I don't need to be the sheriff's friend. That's not my goal in all of this. And look, when I was in local media, I didn't want to be their friend either, but I'm just telling you, it's a different dynamic, which I think he's kind of making that point when he says my local media. I mean, you know, he seems to have a very close relationship with the local media and it's a very different relationship than what he's realizing is going on with the national media. So it was kind of interesting to hear him talk about that. And the last thing that he talked about, which I wanted to play for you was, you know, there's this recall effort going on where there's now an effort to try to basically throw him out of sheriff to have a new election. They've gone back. There was a local article in Tucson where, and I was just saying local media isn't always critical. Well, this is actually the opposite of that. One of the local reporters went back to his time in El Paso from decades ago. A police officer in El Paso found that he had all sorts of disciplinary issues that he never disclosed, that his resume didn't have the right dates on the sheriff's office website. And now that's part of the basis of this recall effort to basically throw him out as sheriff. And so he talked about some of that at the end of the interview. Listen to this.
The life experiences are what shape us, right? It's who we are. And I kind of looked at it as, yes, I had a very colorful career in El Paso. I did all kinds of things there. But I also was a very young officer, the first 20-year-old. And as a kid, back then, I didn't think of myself as a kid. But now looking back, I go, yeah, it was probably every piece of discipline I got, whether it was crashing a car or coming into work late. I can't argue with that. It was what it was. Was I insubordinate with the chief and all of those things may have been possible. But were you like a rogue cop? Absolutely not.
Interesting to hear him talk about that. I mean, look, you know, I always want to be fair. If the dates were a little off on the website in terms of his work history, is that really that big of a deal considering it was decades ago and he's been sheriff for years? I don't know. But it is interesting that he never, according to these reports, disclosed this disciplinary issue, several issues at his previous job, even when he was under oath giving testimony, according to some reports, which is, again, the big
Well, that wouldn't be good.
basis for part of this recall effort. So I'll continue to follow that. I've got a couple really interesting interviews set up this week on the Guthery case that I think will shed some light on some new things we haven't talked about. So I will keep you guys posted on that. And, you know, just back to the Guthery family, their statement is just so heartbreaking. My heart goes out to them. I really hope we're getting closer now to some kind of resolution in this whole thing. And I'll make sure to stay on it. All right. Appreciate you guys for subscribing, supporting the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Later. Here's my Cash App, my Venmo, PayPal's coming pretty quick. If anybody wants to support the channel, you can. Of course, you don't have to. It's no big deal. But we made $35 so far in 2 days. In 1 day, actually. No, 2 days. So that's kind of cool. Comments back up here. Look at JLR's eyes next to the guy on Ring Cam. Very similar. JLR is a lunatic. Oh my God. All right. Let's see the evidence, your mama. Okay. Let's open our evidence. All right. Here is one screenshot I got that shows two backpack guy taking the bite light out of his mouth. Okay, so you can see his hand is right here. That's his hand, that's his head, and this little thing right here is flashlight. He just took it out of his mouth and he's going to stick it in his pocket or he's in that backpack. Greetings, Team Rose. Good to see you, darling. She's still a mod. Yeah, I'm going live every day, Rose. Got to come by and check us out. Got 100 last night's live got almost 7,000 views. It's cooking. We're cooking. We're cooking with gas now. Yeah. So this is the bite light, right? And let's see. Let me give you the other stuff. Let me see how I can do this without losing you guys. Okay, there's that guy. Let me see here. Okay. All right, here we go. So that's the one I blew up. That's him taking the bite light out right there. Now, Dad's Gone Live caught him in this car right here. This is the car. This is a 2021 to 2024 Nissan Rogue with a broken white rack looking thing on top. It doesn't look like it was the part of the original car. And he's putting it back in his mouth at this point, right there. And let me show you the other two pictures. I'm going to come from here. Okay, now this is, I had it already on Annie's message to her mother that I just read to you guys a little while ago. All right. These are my pics right here. Okay, that's the guy in the blue car blown up. That is the guy, the bite light guy. You can see the two noggins, his head, shape of his brow ridge here. Very, very distinct bumps on it with the nose as a little ski lift at the end, a little pointy. Same here. Same knobs on his head, same nose. A little different hair he's grown in because it's been probably a month to 6 weeks that he's been able to grow his hair in since that night that Nancy went missing. So next thing I'm going to do is flip this guy so he's facing the other way and see if, can I do that? I don't even think I can do that. There's the car. I blew it up to that, and then I blew that up, and this is the bite light guy. How many people are running around with bite lights within the 3-hour period on the same night with backpacks? And who is this creep driving around? Dad's Gone Live was so freaked out that he had to call 911 on this dude because he was creeping around in this car. Good. Ghislaine Maxwell. Anyway, that's what I got. That's my evidence, and I'm sticking to it. All right, you guys. You're not convinced? That's okay. They look like different sized men. I'm pretty good at facial shapes and stuff like that. It's the same guy. I'm convinced because I know how to do shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm an investigator. And some people say he doesn't look like the guy. One guy looks bigger because he's in a different, he's closer to the camera. The camera is above him looking down. The other one is at the side, looking at the side. So they're going to look different because the cameras were different. One of them is a very high-end camera from Dad's Gone Live. Dad's Gone Live was sitting in a truck and he drove right in front of him. Bam. He was kind of pulled over on the side of the road and took the picture as the guy was driving by. He was filming him and he pulled one frame out of it. And that was what I got, that blue car. I put that blue car in Chat GPT and it told me that's a 2021 to 2024 Nissan Rogue. That's what the car is. His cheeks look puffier in the car. Almost looks like it could be brothers. I think it's the same guy. I mean, how many guys even use a bite light to begin with? All right. Not very many. Probably less than 0.0000001% of the population in the whole damn world uses a bite light. All right. And so when you think about the numbers and the statistical impossibility of two people using a bite light that look that similar to each other, it's just uncanny. It's just out of this world, you know, if you really think about it and you really look at the statistics and the, you know, same area. right? Within a few miles of Nancy Guthrie's house. No, it's just way too much for me. All right, you guys, I was going to do a quick, like, half-hour live. Here we are. It's 2 hours and 19 minutes. It's almost freaking midnight. Mab gotta sleep. Thank you, Tori, for being here. Hopefully Jessica's going to leave a message or a comment so I can mod her up. But thank you guys all for being here. I love all you guys. I'm going to check in to get monetized tomorrow. I probably already am monetized. I just don't know it. I haven't checked it. It's a process you got to go through, and it's a thing. Good night, dear. The picture on the porch, the preacher at the dump, both shows him having a unibrow. The picture on the porch, the preacher at the dump. Who's the preacher at the dump? I don't know who the preacher at the dump is. Jimmy from the Bayou. What's up? I like the Bayou. I spent my youth on the water, getting snapping turtles and gigging frogs. That's what we did when we were kids. All right, y'all. Mabster's got to get the hell out of here. So I will see y'all later. Hopefully tomorrow I will see you. So peace out from the Mabster.